Interview number 250,000, probably.
For you?
For you, I think.
For me, no. Maybe just 225,000.
Oh, okay. Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Munky. I'm the guitar player for Korn. The last standing guitar player.
Yeah, but you're doing well. You did on the, on the last Lowlands Festival. We were like backstage, seeing you guys. We're like, okay, now the sound is coming, and you had like an overwhelming fat sound. It was good.
Yeah. I have help with a friend of mine, Rob, from the United States. He's helping me, do all the rhythm stuff, and so it sounds nice and full. Because all the Korn stuff was written for two guitars.
Yeah, it's all double.
Yeah, so it was like, so when we sat down in rehearsals, we had to kind of figure out, okay, I want to play this, you play this. I want to play this, you play that. So it was kind of hard to figure out,
How do you do that live then? It's just one part you play, isn't it? Or is there some other guy playing somewhere?
Yeah, my friend Rob, he's like sitting in the back kind of.
Oh, right. I didn't see him because we were like sitting backstage.
Yeah, right. He's back there. He's not hidden, really. He's over on Fieldy's side.
Oh, okay.
And he's just helping me fill up with the rhythm sections and stuff.
It's impossible to do by yourself, though. Not even with samples. I mean, it isn't even to do. No way you can do it with one guitar. No.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even want to try it because it would just sound like,
It would be unique, though.
we would definitely lose something in the sound, the big, thick guitar sound.
Yeah, because it's one of the basics of the Korn sound is the groove made by the guitars. And on your new album, we just listened to it once. The groove is still there, the heaviness is still there, but some things really changed. I mean, the way of songwriting, etc., etc. But you kept the guitar sound in it. Is it also by yourself, or did you also take in some other guitar parts?
No, that's all me. I tracked all the guitars on that, and then there was one point when I was worried, like, oh, how am I going to play this live, and then how is this going to come off live? Am I going to be? And then I started to worry about, and then, I just kind of forgot about all that and focused in the moment and forgot. Don't worry about that. Just make the best record you can do. Make it sound as good as you can make it sound.
And then afterwards, you will see how to figure it out live on stage. Then.
Exactly. It'll be, the work will be split with another guitarist playing rhythm stuff, and I'll do the featured guitar parts.
But again, with a guitar player somewhere in the background playing the stuff. So never with
not like the
maybe
new
not
guitar
never.
player, of course.
No, there won't be a new member ever. There's just going to be the four of us. Once we went into the studio and started to write, the songs, and we knew Brian wasn't coming back, and we kind of we knew we could handle it ourselves. The songs started to come to life and take a whole new direction almost. It still sounds very much like Korn, but there's a little bit of electronic sounds. There's some keyboard sounds, which lightened up a little bit of my load, because usually it's like, in the verses where Jonathan's singing, there's a lot of little guitar sounds, and there's not so much on that. I focus more on the songwriting and the riffs, and that was my main focus, was just to make the great song and make it sound as big and.
It was a second record you produced yourself. Was it different than all the other records, like doing it yourself? Was it more of own responsibility?
I think that we're just learning how to, when we're learning finally what sounds good and what needs to be there and what needs to be thrown in the trash can. And but still, we used Matrix on this record and Atticus Ross. They were great as that outside ear, and picking parts. I'd be in the studio jamming, and they'd say, "Stop, play that again." And like this, and it would be just like some crappy little riff, but they'd take it and they'd put it in their Pro Tools, and then they'd reverse it or slow the riff down, and I'd be like, "Wow." I would have never thought of that.
And that's why they came up a bit more of the industrial parts of the record.
Yeah, that's probably where that influence came from.
Yeah, because it's almost impossible to do if you play in a band like Korn ever since the beginning of the 90s already. For you guys, I mean, we know you guys ever since '95, but it's almost impossible to take that step into like an industrial part, because you have been working and playing together in. Well, it's not exactly the same way, but in the same way for 10 years. So it's better to take in other years.
Yeah, you know, when we started the writing process, it was like we started our traditional way of, you know, we started in the rehearsal studio with what was me, Fieldy, and David, and then, you know, Jonathan saying yes, no, pointing his finger around, and then it started to feel really stale. Like we've done this before. Let's move into the control room. Let's try.
Studio.
And the producer came in, Matrix came in, brought a drum program, and Fieldy and I started writing to these drum programs, and David would come back in and.
Which one was it? Drum Kit from Hell?
No, there's one song that we first came and did, and was a song called "It's Me Again," and I think it's going to be on a bonus track.
Yeah, because I saw some titles which were not on the record.
Yeah,
already,
yeah, and that was one of the first songs that we wrote with them, and
You meant the program, the drum program. You got like the Drum Kit from Hell program with all the stuff.
All the sounds in it.
Yeah. So I mean, they just throw up drum programs, and I just start jamming.
Yeah.
So and they're like, "Whoa, stop!" And then, you know, at one point, well, you know, once I knew that Brian wasn't coming back, there was a bit of a panic for me, because I was like, "Oh shit, am I going to be able to do this on my own?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of responsibility.
Because he was also a big deal of the songwriting, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
absolutely. Him and I wrote a lot of the stuff, and we, you know, basically it's like a tennis match.
Yeah.
I write something, he writes something,
Yeah.
and we complement each other. So, you know, for a couple of weeks I was kind of panicky, like, what am I going to do? And, you know, and I kind of just let that melt away and focus my energy into making a great song. But it was hard getting through that. You know, breaking through that wall of insecurity about songwriting, and am I going to be good enough? And is this going to be good enough?
It's almost like starting again,
Yeah.
all over.
It was almost like, you know, I've got to create a wall of guitar sounds alone, and how am I going to, you know, is it going to be good? You know, so.
So in the end, you're satisfied with the new album then?
Yeah, I'd still be in the studio if I wasn't. So.
Yeah, really. I'm such a fan of guitar playing.
Yeah.
Every time when you have time to play guitar, you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, even on the road, I take a little little multi-track recording device, and I write for the trash can. You know, a lot of writers do this. I don't write to write the hit. I just write to hear what it sounds like back.
Yeah.
So if it's just crap, I'll just throw it out the door. If I think it's good, I'll let Jonathan hear it or Fieldy hear it.
Yeah. What kind of music do you listen to when you're on the road, or like what kind of bands do you think are cool in 2005?
But also like guitar-oriented bands, or is it broader?
You know, when I'm at home, I like to listen to kind of some chill-out music. You know, because my life is always so crazy.
Noisy.
Yeah. So. I like to listen to a lot of like kind of neo jazz stuff at home, which is, you know, like kind of I don't know,
which is also sometimes guitar orientated, not groove wise. Well, maybe groove wise, but it's technically at least to say guitar wise.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of guitar stuff in it. There's an artist by the name of David Torn, who's does a lot of kind of trippy, this mellow kind of, you know. Take some mushrooms and listen to it or whatever, you know. It's something like that you'd want to do that. But when I drive my car, I listen to just metal, metal, like the new Nine Inch Nails, the band Head PE. Yeah. I love that band.
Do you like the last album? Because it's like over the top, especially lyric wise. It's completely over the top, but it's still fun.
I love it because of that. Because I know Jared, and I know like he's totally mellow and cool. Yeah. And his other albums, they were always like, whoa, like shot. You know, the lyrics were always like, damn, man, that's hard. And then I heard the last one, I was like, damn, you've gone way over the top.
We would listen to
it too. Balls off.
Because
I love it. I love it.
And I mean, it's had its shock effect in America, hasn't it? Cause some people don't understand the fun of it.
They're playing on Sunday, by the way.
A lot of people don't like it because it's like, that's too hardcore or whatever. And I'm just like, you're fucking scared.
But there have been changing in the band, that band, isn't it? Like guitar players left.
Yeah, they've changed a lot of people. I think the only original member is him and the bass player, Mark. Yeah.
And the bum. Yeah. What's the name? The bum.
Oh, the DJ, yeah. Yeah, good guys, man. Hopefully we'll get their break. but it's kind of, they just keep going further underground. You know what I mean?
It's not the way up, but the way down. But
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool to bet.
They keep doing it because the last album, it was we're talking about a whole other band than Korn now, but the last album was like almost a metal album, and then we thought like, oh come on man, don't go too far. But now they're kind of back in from the beginning, like the really slow and heavy riffs, like almost like the James riffs, like your riffs. But now, well, they're playing in the smallest clubs over here in Holland. They play again. I think it's the first time in 6 years or so.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. Hey, but the first single.